time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
Like millions of dollars of marketing, or is it actually popular? You know what I mean?
I think there's just a fatigue in general of just everything. I think we've obviously, I mean, not to like regurgitate previous information, but it's just like our previous thoughts and things we discussed. But I think just in general, people
Yeah,
are
dude.
just fucking tired.
Yeah, honestly, when you think about it, really, in general, generally speaking, about
But
everything, we're just
this
exhausted.
specifically,
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do to stop it. And we even like notated it like 2 years ago when all this like AI shit started. It was just like there's nothing we can do about it.
yeah.
They're gonna do it. And
They've already spent the money on marketing. They've already spent the money on research and development. They've already spent the money. Like, they've spent billions of dollars. They've hedged their bets, as some would say, on
but
AI.
I think we've crossed the threshold of social media, and it's just like I think it's become such a normalcy for most people, and then like you sort of just do it as it's like smoking cigarettes now. Like, it's probably just as bad for you.
What, like social media or like AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
Social media, because I was talking about the fatigue of it, and it's just like I feel like we have, as we do as humans, have just rendered something that was at its peak a very useful tool, social media, and rendered it fucking useless, and we've killed it. It's a husk of what it used to be. All of them, not one specifically, all of them.
Yeah, because
They're all
not
just a husk.
technically dead. It's just no longer.
It's just like it's a puppetry of a corpse at this point.
Yeah. So,
and it's, I don't know, man. What do you do?
yeah, I forgot to close Steam. Sorry.
We have to participate in the. I mean, we don't have to, I guess, but we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we could not. I don't think it would make a difference if we left social media whatsoever. But I mean,
look at me. I left. I would say like I left 95% of social media, and nothing has changed. So,
well,
then again, who am I though? As well, it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't. It's not like I was going to make an impact ever, anyways. It's not like if like. It's like if who's a big person on social media? Give me somebody famous on social media right now.
Like a social media specific personality, or just someone in general?
Somebody with a lot of followers.
I mean, I don't even think followers equate to anything that's like, because again, going back to what I just said, with Twitter, you would have people who would like open dialogue and have conversations, and now it's just people promoting shit, or people just like with a bunch of followers that don't really amount to much, which is like Blue Sky is kind of trying to be that, where you just like throw out a random thought, but it doesn't get engagement or anything like that. But like what Twitter used to be, but now Twitter is just occasional news, mostly AI fucking garbage slop, and there's like terrible opinions and takes, and it's just like, this is a waste of fucking time.
You ever been like scrolling through social media and just be like, why am I here?
Every time.
Like, why am I doing
every
this?
time I open it?
I think that's what I was doing today, like, because I've been watching YouTube Shorts, and like, for what it's worth,
Because you got to get that endorphin.
it's the same thing as TikTok, and I'm just noticing it today, and I was like, because it'd be different though, like, because they've done, I don't know, it's how do you depend on, I mean, it's like inevitable, I guess, but it's like, YouTube still is like a video platform, and so it's like where I go to like learn things and like learn how to do art, learn how to do like random little things. Maybe I just want to watch commentary, YouTube videos, whatever. It's fun. But then like you embed, basically TikTok into that, and it's like, you're already here. Why not just stop on over by the Shorts? And it's
that Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. It's a way to do something one time and get 3 different audiences, 3 different streams of revenue.
And but I was thinking about it today as I was like scrolling through it, and I was just like, what am I trying to gain from this? You know what I mean? Like, what is like? Is it just the endorphins, right? Is it? If that's the case, then I feel like I would have funnier videos on there. I would have like fun videos on like
Well, you
kittens
don't
and stuff
like
like that.
stuff, so it's hard to. It's just going it based on like what you've watched, not what you actually enjoy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's mainly tutorial videos on like making like woodworking jigs or watercolor has been coming across lately. I was telling
Is it
Fred
saturated?
and
Sorry.
Discord. Oh no, you're fine. I was telling Fred in Discord about like now I'm getting random Warhammer paint guy. And, like he's like a guy who just reviews paint that he gets from like the army painter. And it's like, why am I here though? You know what I mean? Like
I mean, that stuff's kind of cool though.
it is, but at the same time, it's like, what am I gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Like I can sit here and learn 100 different recipes, quote unquote, learn 100 different recipes on how to make like high protein, fucking milkshake or something like that. Ice cream. Yeah, I did that earlier today. By the way, I made high protein ice cream. It was very good. But it's like, ultimately, why though? Like what? You know, like just I don't know. I feel like
I think it's the lack of self control that most people have, and that's what feeds the beast at this point.
I
Like if
guess,
you're watching,
yeah.
because like Christina got off TikTok, I don't know, months ago at this point, and whenever it was like actually shut down for like a weekend, I think she got off before then. It was one of the many times that it was going to be shut down, and she was just like, I don't give a shit anymore, whatever. And I was like, do you miss it? And then she was like, I have Instagram Reels. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. And
it's
it's, but at the same time, it's just like, I feel like even with those apps, any of them really, like you, after doing it for like 10, 15 minutes, you're just like, I don't care anymore. Like, why am I still here? Like, why? And then
I
you do
mean,
that day after day, and I just like find myself more so like, it's just like, I don't,
the
why? You know?
let's say out of an hour's worth of social media use that I have, I probably enjoy 10 minutes of it. You know what I mean? I'll find an artist that I like, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna follow this person, and maybe like reach out and in a couple months and see what their work schedule's like,
Yeah.
or I'll see some sort of something that like piques my interest. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Or when I get on Instagram, I try not to get on Instagram very much, but like I'll send some videos that I see, but then I'll catch myself. I'm like, okay, I've done this for 10 minutes. I gotta quit,
Yeah.
and
And I think
I'll
that's why
quit.
I need to get back to like just not doing YouTube Shorts slash YouTube
I don't
TikToks
think there's anything
either.
wrong with it. You just gotta learn when to no, you just quit.
I think I mean,
Watch like five
yeah,
and then stop.
I get, but it's again
Everything's
though, it just
okay in
goes back to
moderation.
it goes back to the conversation of just like, but why, like what do like I don't feel
Well,
like
I
I'm
mean,
getting anything out of it. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's true. I mean, you made protein ice cream.
That is one instance. I also tried to make this. Oh man, there's this one YouTube content or this It's not even a YouTube exclusive. It's one content creator. He's like everybody knows him in like the quote unquote fitness community or whatever. He has like a really weird uh monotone approach to like delivering
I'm
his
already
recipe
annoyed.
videos. Oh yeah, and it's like he's just like super simple. It's like you mix this and this together, you get a bussin' fucking high protein bread. And I did that recipe, and I was like,
Gross.
you deserve to be in jail, sir. That did not turn out anything like you said it would. And then you look at the recipe like in the pinned comments, and it's like way more than just the 3 fucking ingredients. And it's like, buddy, if I could kick you into jail, I'd do it.
You lying sack of shit.
You piece of
But I
shit.
mean, there's a lot of stuff that you've watched intentionally. I mean, again, YouTube is another one where it's been overtaken with shorts to cater to that like 10, 15 second like attention span. But used to, you would go to YouTube because it's like, how do I make this kind of divot in a piece of wood?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
then you would watch it, and you would have to sit through 3 or 4 ads, and
Yeah, and it's that's another man, and it's I would like that's the reason I don't get rid of YouTube is because like there's still like I still get a plethora of information from it, especially when I need it, and but it's just like having that. I wish there was a button to disable it, you know what I mean? But of course there wouldn't be,
ads.
right? Yeah, no, disable YouTube Shorts, just like
Oh,
just give
yeah.
me YouTube, but it's like go to YouTube.com. Who the fuck
I
has the time
I
to type
mean,
in a
I luckily
URL?
I don't participate in enough YouTube as it is to succumb to the shorts. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the reason I was like posting those like dumb little shorts, like where I just sit in front of the camera because it's just like I need to be the point that you get to in YouTube Shorts, in which you see our content on there, and you're like, okay, I'm done for the day. You know, I'm done for the day. I've wasted my time sitting here staring at this guy. I'm done for the day. You know.
But I think we've become so accustomed to just like constantly trying to squeeze every ounce of time to make it feel like we have accomplished something, even though by scrolling, you accomplish nothing.
You really don't. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean, like you said, you get the occasional thing that you get out of it, the occasional thing I get out of it, and it's just like it's hard. It's a hard thing to do because I know you have at your fingertips like just so much. I know there's a new thing. Were we talking about it in the group chat or something? But you can buy like the phones that have no apps on them.
Oh yeah, that was I was bringing it up in the chat. I was like,
text and call and check email, but they're like that's it. That's all you can do.
I don't know. We probably were, but I was like talking about getting a new phone. And I didn't want to go with the iPhone, so we were talking about like the nothing phone or whatever. And I haven't looked into it much, but it's like I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Like that, like you can't install apps on it. You can't do anything.
That'd be kind of nice.
It's a very primitive cell phone.
Yeah,
We've come back around.
But
and is it because ultimately humans don't have any self-control?
I mean, maybe, but then is it like the ultimate
all
form of
addicted to
self-control if you just eliminate yourself from the situation? Or is it because it's like,
well, if you eliminate yourself from the drug, you know, if you are an alcoholic, and I mean this is very simplified, but if you don't put yourself in a situation to drink, you know, yeah, there's obviously.
But then it's like, do you have
there's
self-control, or is it just like you're now not exposing
self-control
yourself?
as you took yourself out of the situation?
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, it does take, and that takes a lot, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I feel like but yeah, man, maybe we just need to go back to the basics. You know, like let's scrap the internet. And
I think we're gonna hit it. I mean, I hope, I guess, that we're gonna hit a tipping point where you're just gonna see more and more people be like,
yeah,
eh.
It'll be whenever they like realize, oh, we actually don't have any engagement on our platforms whatsoever. It's all just bot activity. And
It'll be
like, oh,
I don't think it'll be completely overtaken by AI, but I think it'll mostly everything you see on YouTube is going to be AI generated.
Okay, so hypothetical speaking,
because there's already the stuff that's on there now.
Yeah, hypothetically
like
speaking,
the actual real stuff.
So these platforms all have monetization, right? And so like at what point does like whenever like the apps do become all overrun by bots, right? And it's basically just like your platform has a bunch of engagement, but it's all bot activity, right? But you're still paying creators because they're getting activity. So it's like at what? Yeah, and then it's like
you're not a creator if you use AI.
That's what I'm saying though. But then it's like 2 or 3 people are gonna have all the you know, they're creating all the content, and then it's like they're not actually pushing it out to be like. So it's like I think that it's pretty like extreme example. I don't know where I'm going with it, but it's
I don't think it's extreme. I think the post-apocalyptic future that we all was like, no, there's no way. Like we were promised, we all thought we were going to get the Jetsons. Instead, we're getting like I Am Legend.
Yeah, iRobot.
Or Ready Player One seems to be what we're getting.
Yeah.
You know, where it's if you read or watch Ready Player One, you're like,
even when it came out, though, I think that people were like, yeah, I guess I could see this kind of, you know, like this could probably happen. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation taking over the planet. Like, yeah, absolutely. I feel like that could happen, you know. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that it'd be weird because it's like with everything being digital too. It's like I think of bank accounts, right? Like you put when's the last time you had actual physical cash? Like it probably keeps them on you, right, for like emergencies.
Today, I mean, I literally cashed a check today.
But it's like for the most part.
I've been taking out cash every paycheck.
But for the most part, like all of our cash, there's zeros and ones behind a screen. So like, what's to stop somebody from like breaking into the system and giving themselves a few extra zeros?
You sound like our grandparents 20 years ago.
Right. But I mean, like, but I feel like it's plausible though, right? Because it's like,
Dude,
You
think
could
about how
just
crazy.
toss a few zeros on there, and it's like,
I
oh,
mean,
I suddenly have
less than
$1 billion.
30 years ago, it was extremely like, do not put your credit card information over the internet. Do not do that.
Yeah,
Do not do that. And
and
it's
then it's like,
amazing that Amazon was like one of the first people to do it back then when it was just a bookstore and,
man,
without a physical warehouse, by the way. And
that's crazy to think how far, like, good for
yeah,
them. Good for
when
Amazon,
Bezos had hair, and
Yeah, dude, lost it all. That was like what he sold his soul for, like to get the money. It's like,
yeah, and just back then it was even eBay. I remember the first couple of times I ordered from eBay, like it was hard to do because some of them were like only took PayPal, but some of them did take credit card. But like finding auctions that took credit cards, and then I had to use like my dad's credit card or even like my credit card. Yeah, it was just like this is all less than 20 years ago. You know what I
and
mean? And we're
yeah,
so accustomed to just like Venmo and Cash App and PayPal. Everything is digital. It's why I mean we talked about it. They're gonna the first step to getting rid of the actual physical currency is pennies, and then it'll be fives, and then it'll be tens, and then it'll be like, well, let's just get rid of all change and make everything
just dollar based. That feels
just dollar
weird though, man.
based.
That feels like we're going back to like trading. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
start
then,
bartering for things. Start putting things on a scale again.
we keep pushing further into like closer and closer and closer. Like I feel like we're all on a pirate ship and we're all walking the plank, and we're getting ever closer to the plank, but yet the plank just doesn't. We're just not falling off yet. We're just not falling off. But it's like each thing that happens. It's World War III is coming up. Okay, cool. So like here we
Yeah,
are. Okay, cool.
I just
But
love how quickly we got out of World War III. Right? It was like it's so funny. It's so funny to be like, oh shit, we're going to World War III, and then like the next day, it's like, actually, he's like, nah, you guys figure it out. You figure it out. That happened. Like, yeah, it feels like a lot happened this last week, dude. I don't know about you, but
what'd you do?
nothing.
That's not true.
What did? Oh, I mean, I went to the Dino Quest thing. I'm gonna go ahead. This is not sponsored, right? Obviously. And I got no shade for Dino Quest and what they're doing. Okay, but
But
absolutely, allegedly, because I'm gonna say I feel like if I say allegedly, it gets me out of any legal recourse. So allegedly, that should get me out of recourse. But you heard of the Willy Wonka adventure, right? That was back in
we
the
talked
UK
about
for
it
a little while. Yeah, we talked about
in
it a little few
Scotland
episodes ago. Yeah,
a few episodes
a
ago,
few
like
episodes
3 years
ago.
ago.
A few episodes ago. I feel like this might have rivaled that a little
I
bit.
doubt it.
It wasn't nearly as bad,
Then it can't rival if it's not as bad.
but the Instagram reels, right, for Dino Quest. Let me just say, they are just that. They are social media posts, right?
Yeah.
And you shouldn't always get as hype as the videos try and make you get hype. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like the kids had a great time. They had fun.
That's who it's for, though.
That's who it's for, and that's the smiles on everybody's face. Actually, the sheer looks of terror walking into this place on every single kid's face because they had the loudest and most fearsome looking dinosaurs in the front of the exhibit. Because like, why not? Like kids are there.
You're blowing your load early.
Yeah, kids are there. They want to be scared immediately. And I saw no less than like out of 20 kids, 19 of them were crying when they were walking in the entrance. Hilarious.
There's only 20 kids here?
I mean, it wasn't as busy, and I'm glad that wasn't as busy. But no, I mean,
You
like,
also went like right when it opened, too.
yeah, out of like every 9 out of 10 kids was crying when they walked in the entrance. Okay, my little niece, she was balling up a storm, dude. She didn't want to look at anything. She was like that entrance. Oliver, he's got some sensory issues, dude. He was not having it. He was like covering his ears. He was like, "Hey, get me the fuck out of here, please." He said that to me. He looked at me. "Hey, Dad, get me the fuck out of here, please." Little Ollie's just saying, "Get the fuck out of here." So we did. We got to somewhere a little bit more quiet. Got to calm down. So that was. I mean, like it was again not as hyped up as the Instagram reels made it look. That's for sure. So Well, we had a good time. They had like a little block area because it was like Dino Quest X Brick, whatever Brick Life. I don't even know. It wasn't Legos. I don't think they legally allowed to say Legos, but they had
Yeah, because
Legos
Lego's
there.
a brand, and you have to pay for the name.
Yeah, they had Legos there. They had a master builder there. Didn't know who he was. He looked like he was 12. Cool. He built this like big tower, really sick. They had a bunch of bounce houses. Barely anybody lifeguarding anything. So it's like free for all the bounce houses. There were kids bouncing around, punching each other in the face. You know, everybody's like, there was a free for all in some of them.
So like every bounce house ever in existence.
Yeah, pretty much. My kids weren't having any of it. Actually, I think Quinn bounced for a little bit, but Oliver was like, "Nah, I want to go build." So we went and built some blocks for a little while. Built this sick ass tower. I built like a four like foot high, close to 1.25 meters for our metric people out there. Right, high. It's taller than Oliver, dude. Built a tower out of mega blocks. So it's pretty sick.
Cool.
But
Do you think we're gonna be able to retroactively go back and like re-diagnose lots of people that had like schizophrenia, and it's just like they had sensory overload?
I mean, I think that's happening. I think a lot of like we've kind of noticed like I think here in the last little decade or so that like there's a lot more people on the spectrum than we had originally thought, and like that the spectrum has grown to include a lot more people, and as well as
Very
like very broad spectrum, dude. And like I think that, you know, for what it's worth, a lot of people probably have touches of it, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, but probably.
Do you think that is being overused and weaponized now?
It's not for me to say.
Yeah, it's
You
just
know,
like
that's out of my pay
anybody
range,
that has
really.
like a weird tick or something that's just like, no, you're just into like weird shit. It doesn't make you autistic.
I do think
Because people
there,
be like, well, it's just autism.
yeah.
No,
Well, I think that like social media
like you
obviously
just
has
like jelly in your
inflated that.
butthole, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
okay, man. And I get it. It's gonna be sticky though. You should probably watch that.
Just call it a fetish, not a.
Yeah, and that's okay, dude. They still need to like, I don't know. Have they figured out where fetishes come from? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in that science. So
Some of them are like trauma based.
yeah, some of them are
Or
trauma
fear
based.
based.
Yeah, but you know, but I think that I want to say that
Like autoerotic asphyxiation is sort of like just because you get really close to like death and passing out and shit.
yeah, and you're like yeah, you get like you lose control, and you're like you it's not in your hands anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
But
an
then it
out-of-body
technically
experience.
is, you know, because like you have your hand on the rope or whatever. However you do it, I don't know, but I would assume if you're gonna do that though, make sure it's like in a safe way. You know what I mean?
But then that takes away the thrill.
I don't think anybody wants to die though. You know, ultimately, if they're doing autoerotic
Who are you?
asphyxiation, I mean,
Who are
like,
you to say?
because I think that like
Are you
death.
speaking for people now?
I would argue that like in autoerotic asphyxiation alone, death is not the goal. There's not like it's not suicidal. It's more so like if you die, you failed. You screwed it up.
You're trying to walk the plank.
Yeah, you're trying to walk the plank, but it's like you failed. You fell off. You know what I mean? Like you did it wrong. Because I feel like that's honestly like it's kind of like on a knife's edge of like playing with that one. You know what I mean? Kind of like me
But
having this conversation is like on a knife's edge. I don't know what I'm talking about, everybody. So full disclaimer: allegedly, I have no idea what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
You know, it's been a bit of a weird summer so far. It's officially summer as of the day before my birthday. And, you know, here especially, like it has just been a swamp. It just has rained copious amounts of fucking rain, and it's just not stopped. And so much so that my backyard, I feel like my fence line's gonna fall at any time just because it's rained so much. And now it has not rained, and then you had people. I'm not gonna, call out anybody in particular in this podcast, but there are people who complained about. "Oh, it's so rain all the time. It's so sad. It was so like very hot."
Yeah, because I mean, it's
And
valid. That sounds like a valid uh, complaint to me. So
doesn't to me because never once did I complain about said rain and the cool temperatures that were blanketing us in May and June because I knew what was coming.
I mean, I don't know if
And
they were cool necessarily. They were
cool
just swampy
comparatively,
still. So
cool comparatively to what we have experienced the last 3 days, and that is might as well be on the fucking sun
yeah, well,
and
I mean, that's
be
because we're trapped in a heat dome right now. So
yeah
yeah,
yeah Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And now those people, not calling anybody, not saying any names. I'm not saying that you did, but those same people that complained about the rain, oh, wouldn't you know it, they're now complaining that it's too hot.
I mean,
And my power bill's gonna go up. Oh my gosh, I have to run my air conditioner all the time. Oh, I can't
yeah.
really do anything. It's so hot. Dogs.
I mean, I don't. I guess, yeah, that's fair. I mean, those all sound like valid complaints. You know,
Those are not valid complaints.
I think they're
You
valid
don't
complaints.
you don't get to complain about it not being hot enough, and then when it's fucking the surface of the sun, you then complain. You don't get both.
Why
You either
not?
want it because it's called hypocrisy.
I mean, I think you're allowed to feel the way you want to feel. You know what I mean? Like you might hate the rain as well as hate the heat.
No. You're missing the point. You can't complain about it not being hot enough and then turn around and say that it's too hot.
I don't. Who was complaining about not being hot enough?
Everybody. You.
Oh, I thought it was fine.
You.
I just didn't like the rain.
You.
I was mainly
You.
complaining about the rain. Is what
You.
I was complaining about. So
You. Motherfucker. You.
no, I thought it was fine. The heat temperature is fine. I think the rain is what pisses me off. I don't care about like
Just wait.
the hot.
Just wait till we get to August. You're gonna be like, I'm tired of summer. I'm tired of summer. I need the
Oh
fall.
yeah, I mean that happens to me. I've explained that to you before. Like I goes up a hill. You know, I have a great time at the beginning of winter, but then whenever it's 3 months into winter and you're still cold and snowy, it's like I'm ready for spring. Come on, guys. Like I'm ready for a little bit of a warmer.
Yeah, but you've lived here
temperature.
long enough now. You don't get spring, so just get that out of your system now.
But I mean, like still, I'm allowed to want. You know, I'm allowed to hope.
But that's, I mean, sure, that's fair, but like you're not getting it. So
But yeah,
just-
I'll be irritated with the summer at the very end of it. But like, give me some snow, give me some cold temps, you know, and
it's miserable, dude. I'm struggling to live.
yeah. But I think that like from what I understand is that we set some records. I think yesterday, if you're listening to this on the, well, actually, so not yesterday when the pod releases, but Tuesday we set records, and it was like the hottest June day for a lot of places. So, but they've all said that it's like abnormal to be this hot during June, and it's almost like there's something weird happening with our climate. I don't know, man. Hey, I'm no.
I mean, heat waves
scientist.
happen all the time.
Yeah,
I know that Jim's having a heat wave over there in the UK.
it's always so crazy to me to think, like,
Bro.
that weather works over there. You know what I mean?
Bro, they're like not allowed to breathe oxygen over there, I guess. Like they can't lift their windows up or some shit. I don't know. It's like a weird regulation over there.
Like when it's hot, or when it just in general.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't have any indoor like air unit, dude.
I mean, I think a lot of Europe doesn't, though. I think that
Yeah.
a lot of Europe doesn't have central air, like central
Yeah,
heat.
could
and
you
air, right?
imagine?
Well, I mean, they also design their houses in which they're not like made out of
Wrong?
paper. You know, yeah. So
I mean, are you saying that the Japanese did it wrong? Because all their stuff was meant to be rebuilt quickly.
yes, their stuff is fine because they know what they're
okay.
doing, right? They know what they're
Oh,
doing. They
okay.
know that like, oh, it's gonna burn down. We're gonna build it back up, whatever, right? Whereas in like Europe, they were like, if we just build it really fucking strong and insulated, we won't need all this central heating and air units. And then the U.S.
Well, I
was
mean,
like,
'cause,
what
like-
if we combine the two, but we don't make things good. We just make them.
I mean, sure, I'll give you that, but I will never ever say that any country is superior when it comes to like heating and air because we can control how hot and cold our houses are. We're not fucking beholden to nature.
But yeah, but that also comes with like repercussions of like,
Does it?
yeah, I mean, like, because from what I understand is like air units aren't the best for the climate. So
I don't give a shit. Neither is billionaires, and we're not doing anything about them either.
yeah,
So.
I think we take care of them first, and then we can address the issue of like
I
cooling.
think me running my air condition constantly to not go certifiably insane is very low on the totem pole of actual problems in the world.
Well, it should be.
No,
it
it is.
should be,
No, it is.
but
You're gonna see me get real defensive because it is very.
it's
low
like
on the totem pole.
recycling, man. It's like they pinned it on
I
us.
like don't
right?
I don't even recycle that much anymore, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I only recycle at this point because I don't want to put that bulky shit in my trash.
yeah, but also like we were the like it's recycling always pisses me off because it's like corporations spun it so hard, dude, and it was like because the whole campaign on recycling is like we make up like us the collective people make up account for like a small percentage of the amount of pollution that goes into the actual like earth, right? Whereas like corporations are literally like creating the pollution, but then telling us, hey, you guys should recycle more because like
Do your part.
Yeah, do your part. I'll kick you right in your fucking teeth. All right. I'm talking like corporations in general, not you in particular. But,
you ever wonder though? You ever wonder like we talked about it briefly, you know, billionaires and millionaires and yada yada. But like, do you ever think that? Like, do you ever think they're happy? What do they do for fun besides like go to space?
I don't.
Because that's essentially what they do, right?
They
just
like
go to space,
do whatever they can not to be here. So it's like,
it's just we can't even, you know, it's one of those things where we just can't even fathom what it's like to have that like fuck you money, just absolute like I don't. They think they are above humans because they are, because they have amassed so much wealth that like the problems of us do not equate to their problems. You know
yeah,
what
but
I
then
mean?
like you got sympathizers who'll be like, they have problems too, man.
They do. I mean, they do have problems, but they don't have our problems.
Like
They
which
don't have
Ferrari
real
to drive to work, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean like
which bank account to use today.
it really is weird because you never. I mean, sure, you see billionaires smiling, right? You see millionaires smiling all the time, but it's like a smile that feels
I mean,
like
the
there's
Joker
nothing
smiles all
there.
the time.
Yeah, like feels like there's nothing there, right? It just feels like empty.
Hollow.
And I
Because they are a hollow tusk of a human.
and it's like you have all the money in the world. Like, why aren't you like happy? Like, what is? I mean, because we know, like you and I,
Because they won.
yeah,
Because humans in current state are predicated on the chase. That's what everything is, right?
yeah,
Everything that you do is boiled down to the chase.
yeah.
Your job, you are chasing the paycheck. You go even further. You're chasing your next day off. You're chasing the weekend. You're chasing this, that, and the other. You're chasing paying bills off. Everything that you do is a chase, right? So billionaires, what are they chasing? Because they won. It's over. They have hit. They got to the finish line. They win. What do you do when you win and you have nothing to do?
I mean, that's the thing, man. Is that like you can do anything you want?
But it doesn't matter because this shit doesn't. Nothing gets their rocks off anymore.
I don't know, man. Hey, because like my thing is like I can think about having all that cash, and it's
You wouldn't know what to do.
I absolutely wouldn't know to do it first. And like, would it change me? I don't think so, right? Or maybe
Yes,
it
it
would.
would.
I don't
think it
know,
would.
but it's like at the same time, it's like I would just start looking for shit that makes like I would invest it in like not I don't want like a full scale Gundam, right? I don't want like a full mobile suit Gundam, right? I don't want a 1-to-1 scale, okay? Because I saw how slow they move whenever Japan released theirs or whoever it was. Maybe it was China. I can't remember which one did it, but I
I
want
can
like
hear you crunching your knuckle thing.
oh sorry, my bad. I was messing with the little papers, like a little fidget spinner. I would definitely go for like a 1/8 scale, right? It'd be like 7 feet tall, and I'd be able to get in it and have fun. You know what I mean? Like I'd do that. I'd maybe like,
But then you would grow bored with it.
but yeah, then I would go and I'd like buy a gaming studio and like have them just make random games that I want and like for fun, you know. There's so many things that I would just like have the
But I
money
think
to do and
I
have
think
fun
you would
doing
just
it.
ultimately you would get bored.
Yeah,
The
and then,
novelty of it would wear off.
and even then, right? Getting bored with it. What am I gonna do then? Okay, well I think I'm gonna go down and just start handing out like thousands of dollars.
You absolutely won't.
Why not? If I'm gonna if
You
I
won't.
say I have Jeff Bezos money, right? Where the morning that I wake up, I could go and spend $2 million and have more money when I go to bed that night than what I spent. You know what I mean? Like where you just literally can't lose money, right?
But yes,
I'm saying I'm going maybe not to like the streets of New York. I'm talking like I'd go to honestly down here in our hometown. I'd just go walk the streets of Knoxville, Tennessee, baby. Just downtown Knox. Just start handing out $1,000 every now and then. Not all the time, right? Because I don't want everybody's like I don't make a scene. Okay, I'm not. Who was that? Kai Cenat like causing a riot in the middle of New York. Okay, because I'm giving
Who?
away like I remember that story like we talked about like a while ago. It's like YouTube as a Twitch streamer who like caused a bunch of like mayhem because he was like having a meet and greet and he was giving out like Xboxes or some shit. I don't remember what he was doing, but like basically started a full scale riot and then yeah,
This does ring a bell. Okay, yes,
I'm not that guy. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
but I think but you say you may not intentionally be that guy, but by proxy of doing what you do, because humans are incapable of accepting it and not making a scene and not doing shit for content. And it's the moment somebody gets a hold of it, then then you are wrapped up in a circus.
that's why I gotta do it on
That's
the
why
sly.
you don't do it.
I
That's
do
why
it
you
on the
don't do it.
sly. I start dropping prepaid $1,000 cards in the ground, right?
Yeah, but you're not gonna. But again, I think what
I
happens is
have
if you,
infinite money. I'm doing
I
what I feel like doing. Okay, you said that I won't do it, but at the same time, it's like I'm just gonna do it because one,
I
you
know
told me I
you.
wouldn't, but two, because I have fuck you money now and I can do it because I feel
I
like
know
it.
you though. The thought the thought of you physically doing it's not gonna happen. You might hire people to do it.
I mean,
You yourself are not going to leave their fucking house. You are going to build a compound
I mean, yeah,
and you're going
that's
to make it to where you never have to leave
that is kind of nice though. Yeah, that
and
thought.
you physically will not do anything.
Yeah, but I still like going places. I still want to go like shopping and whatnot. I do like shopping, but I don't have
Dude,
the
you
money
don't even
to
go buy
shop.
your own fucking groceries.
Yeah, but you. I go
No,
to Kroger's and
you go you go and get pickup
yeah, because it's cheaper that way.
because somebody does it for you and you're not even a millionaire
No,
and you
it's
think
cheaper
you
because I don't go inside and start perusing the aisles and start buying things that I don't need. We have a set budget and we say, hey, this is what we need. Slap it on the
dude,
Kroger
you ain't
order
got to explain
and
it.
go
I
home.
understand,
Yeah.
but I'm just telling you, you already don't do your own physical grocery
We do
shopping.
it Aldi though, every other week.
And you think that you're just going to willingly walk the streets and hand people stacks of cash.
Do I have a
Not
job to
in your
worry about?
fucking life are you going to do
I
that.
don't have a job to worry about.
Bro, you don't even come see me.
Yeah, because I have a job. I have
It's not
kids.
why.
I
It's
have I
not
have
why.
I have
It's not
video
why.
games to play,
There
dude.
you go.
Right?
I'm low on the
I'm
totem pole of priorities for you.
You guys are so far away. You moved so far away from me. All right.
We didn't move.
Yeah, you guys have moved away from
We
me.
haven't moved since this
But to be
podcast
fair,
started. You've moved twice.
to be fair, you don't come to see me either. So it's like
Because you actually moved too far away and you live
mutual.
in the
So
fucking to be fair, I'm quite busy.
me too, man. I'm also quite busy. Okay. This is actually the free week, first free week we've had come up in a while. That's for sure. So pretty exciting.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that you go to bed at 8:30.
Yeah,
and
but I
wake
mean,
up at
like,
4
what am I
o'clock.
supposed to go do shit at 9 o'clock at night? Damn.
Yeah,
man.
like everybody else.
Oh, dude, it's gross, man. Go to bed. It's 9 o'clock.
Stop waking up at 4 o'clock
Not that when am I gonna have time to grind, my guy?
later in the night.
That's stupid. No, because then I don't get my sleep in.
It sounds like a problem you created.
Nah, it's 4 a.m. is the only time that I can be by myself and work out and not have to worry about everybody because everybody's asleep. You know what I mean?
It's what you get for having kids.
Well, I mean, everybody's asleep, so I don't have kids at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Hey, you know what? My kids are asleep at night. So, and my kids, I made one.
But yeah, I mean, that's supposed to be your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at nighttime it is.
4 a.m. is my time.
I mean, it's fine, but it's weird.
It's not weird. Everybody does it.
Nobody does.
There's
it.
at least 30 people at the gym in the morning when I get there at 4 a.m. So
And there's at least 60 people sleeping.
yeah, and also, and we don't talk about this enough. Is that like when you get to the gym at 9 o'clock at night? You know how many people are there? Hundreds. There's so many people there.
Yeah, because they have to work.
Yeah, because they're fucking stupid
people
going to the
value-
gym at 9 o'clock at night.
Because people are not willing to get up early in the morning because that's psycho behavior.
Nah, I just think they don't have the grind spirit in them.
No, it's because people don't like mornings.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair, but I think it also takes all kinds of walks. So
What?
that takes all kinds of walks, all kinds of walks. You know what I mean, walks of life.
I am a night creature. I always have been, and I will remain that way.
I'm a morning creature, and that's why we get along because opposites
It's not.
attract.
It's not because when it's 8:30 and like a reasonable time that everybody else would be able to play video games, you're like, I'm in bed.
I mean,
can't
yeah.
walk
Well,
downstairs."
to be fair, when I'm in bed, man, I'm comfy. I'm probably not gonna get back out of bed, so you got to catch me before I get in bed.
Yeah, but okay, I get it. And this we're just
Yeah.
now we're just arguing.
Now we're just
semantics
having a
and stuff.
conversation that we would normally have.
But the thing is like if you reasonably want to play games with other people, you're the one that has the weird schedule. So you're the one that would have to accommodate because no one else is going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because that is ridiculous to ask people to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Other people where it's not ridiculous because most people are still awake at 8:30 at night.
Counterpoint. Why do I have to change?
Because you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You-
I keep dropping it. Sorry.
yeah,
I'm
because
not
you won't
wrong.
stop fidgeting with stuff.
Well, I mean, I have to because it's like, hey, my therapist said that if I want to focus on things, I have to focus on things with my hands.
It's because you're uncomfortable with the real truth of the conversation.
No, because I know that I'm right.
You're not right.
I am right.
You're not right is
Am
the
I?
thing.
I mean, I am right.
You're doing what's right for you, but
Yeah.
in this situation, if two people are still awake in a normal hour at 8:30, and you want to play games, it is on you to change, not the other two people. You're the odd man out.
But it's 8 o'clock. I don't want to play games. I want to go to bed.
Then don't play.
I'm not playing games at 8 o'clock.
Correct.
In this
And
scenario,
therefore, and then therefore, when we're talking about Hunt specifically, and therefore, you never get to play with anybody besides me because we play at lunch. But we have a friend who always gets left out because you won't change.
hey, that's not my
I'm
man.
awake.
Hey, if he
That
wants to
is
wake
your-
up at 4 a.m. to
No
play
one's
games with me-
waking-
Actually, I'm not going to be playing games at 4 a.m. anyways. You know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be at the gym.
At the
grinding.
gym. But the whole point is, you're the odd man out here. And no, I'm not saying that you have to change.
I mean, yeah, in this particular situation. But like globally speaking, there's plenty of people that wake up at 4 a.m.
and there's plenty of people. There are more people that are up at 8:30.
I'm going to need to see the statistics on
Are,
that
are you
one.
are you talking about for your time or like 4
I
o'clock
think
is also
if we
5
would have
o'clock
to
in
do a
Japan?
study for like 8
I'm-
o'clock p.m. everywhere though, right?
No.
Because it's like I would talk
Well,
about
8
like,
o'clock p.m. here is not 8
that's what I'm
o'clock
saying. Like,
p.m.
so it
in
would have to be
Nashville.
like it would have to be like a moving scale, right? So it's like one of those things where you would take a
No,
what is the thing
because
a
then-
survey.
because now you're twisting it to fit your argument because
No,
of course
no, I'm not
people on the
twisting
other side of the
anywhere.
world are going to be up.
Well, no. That's what I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying like we take a survey at 8 p.m. Eastern, right? How many people are awake? You know, there's this number. Okay.
Are
Then
we
you do
talking
8
specifically the
p.m.
United States?
Then you do 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Then 8 p.m. You go through all the different time zones and see how many people are awake at 8 p.m. But 8 p.m. like not Eastern, not Pacific, whatever. It's just like 8 p.m. total. And then you take a survey on how many people are awake at 4 a.m.
Most people,
Yeah.
most people's work day is like 8 to 5.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess here in America for sure.
Most people is 8
Yeah.
to 5. Mine's not my work schedule. It's not your work schedule.
Nah, I get up at like
Most
7:30. Yeah.
most people are 8 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, most people would still be up at 8:30. I'm not saying it's absolute rule. All I'm trying to tell you is that it is less crazy for people to be up at 8:30 to play video games than it would be to expect people to get up at 5 o'clock to play video games. I'm not saying that you're wrong or you're weird. It's just that yours is abnormal as opposed to the normal 8:30 is the kids are in bed. That's your time.
Counterpoint. You're probably correct there.
That's not a count. I am correct. I'm not telling you that you have to change. I'm just
But also,
in
like,
general.
you're correct because I'm also not playing video games at 5 a.m. in the morning. Most of the time, if I'm
not
up at
now.
5 a.m. Yeah, not now. I used to definitely get up.
You used to
Like
because
the last-
Oliver would get up early.
Yeah, last 2 or 3 years. And that would piss me off whenever Ollie got up early because it's like, that's my time. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be asleep.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah, really. And he wouldn't go back to sleep. He's like, that's my time. You know, what are we doing awake? It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Come on, guys. What are you
Anyways,
gonna do? Kids are great. You went on a little trip there, bud.
I did. I went to on my birthday. I went to Atlanta, and of course, it was the heat dome that we had mentioned previously, and it was so fucking hot. And where we live, everyone's that doesn't live here or that is sort of outside of our geographical area, and you tell them, oh, where we live, they're like, oh, Nashville, and it's just like, well, it's 3.5 hours away. It's just Nashville's a shithole. It sucks. And then the other one would be, oh, you're close to Atlanta. It's three hours away. Okay, great. Like, and we're also 3 hours from Charlotte. We're 4 hours from Cincinnati. Like, we got a lot of big cities around. So anyways, the last couple times I've been to Nashville, it's a fucking nightmare. It's fucking nightmare. Last couple times I've been to Atlanta, it's fucking great. It's great.
Yeah.
No traffic. Like, I literally went to Atlanta with Phil and Lauren like a month ago, and we drove straight through, and like I knew no problems. Dude, I have not experienced that type of traffic full stop on an interstate moving less than a mile in 30-minute span, just fucking sitting in a long time. And like we had left on a Sunday at like 11 o'clock, 11:30. We
AM or
stopped at a
PM?
a.m.
Oh, okay.
You know, like whatever. We stopped. We grabbed a little lunch on the way. We took our time. We stopped at a Busses, you know, just to break it up.
Yeah.
And you know, we weren't in a hurry. And then, dude, when we because there's a Buc-ee's right outside of Georgia, or like after you get past Chattanooga, right before you get into Atlanta, and dude, it was a fucking nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare for like the last hour and a half.
Did you get
And
to
then
find out why it was a nightmare, or is it just like one of
you want to
those
know what the holdup was? You
traffic
want to know
con-
what the
traffic
you want to know what the holdup
conundrum?
was in all the traffic?
I hope it was something.
It was not a goddamn thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
Not a fucking thing, which makes
that's the most
makes it
infuriating.
even
Yeah.
worse. It's like I want to see a 13 car pile up,
Yeah. No fatalities though.
and it's just like I we got about 2 miles from our exit, and we hadn't moved. We had not moved, and I was just like, you got a kid in the back of the car who's irritated that we're not
Naturally,
there.
yeah.
You have a wife who's irritated. You have a driver, me, beyond irritated,
Yeah.
and just trying to just like you could just feel the tension in there just because it's like I like I don't want to be in this car anymore. And I cannot stand it. And I just go, you know, I just went and I was like, I don't give a shit. We'll find our way. So I'm 2 minutes from where I'm supposed to be. And I
You
took off.
guys have a phone, like, so it's like GPS. You got GPS.
Yeah, but then you got that bitch. She recalculating. Please make a U-turn. It's like fuck you. I'm not doing it. I'm not
We're
doing
not
it.
getting on the interstate, Siri. I don't think you understand this. We're not getting on the
Look,
interstate.
I'm not doing
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
And we finally, like, we just drove. We just drove. And I was like, I'll drive for 30 minutes if I'm moving. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it's the sitting still. And we wrapped all the way around. We got there, and then it was like, you know, we checked in. We did all that, and then she was like, well, let's go do something. You know, whatever. We had
Yeah.
a couple things that we were gonna do because the whole crux, the whole point of this show was obviously Parkway Drive is my favorite band. It's more about the connection I have with them and the energy and just like what they mean to me as a human being, shaped me, yada yada. I've been over it lots of times. You know, I took Christina 2 years ago to go see Parkway for the first time, and she was just she equated it a lot to hockey. She's like, I've heard these songs my whole life of being with you, you know, and they're just like, it's whatever, you know, I watch hockey, whatever. And it's not until you go and see Parkway that you're like, holy shit, like I get it. I understand it now. And she was the same way with hockey. And it's like, I didn't go to my first, hold on, I'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, we went to the Botanical Gardens, did all that stuff. And then like we did the aquarium on Saturday, or on Monday, we did the Coca-Cola thing because both those were indoors. So it was great. And then we did something else. Oh, we took her to like a slime place. She got slimed,
No, it's sick. Yeah. So the
but she got
video.
to, but like it was like 30 or 40 different slimes that you could just like play and touch slime, and then you got to make your own slime, and then
I didn't know there was such a huge slime market, but I guess, yeah.
dude, like that age, her age group, it's like the biggest thing. It's like the biggest thing in the world right now, slime.
That's
Anyways,
fair, I guess. I didn't have slime growing up, so
yeah, we weren't allowed to have it in the house.
yeah. I get the carpet.
Dude, let me just tell you, I don't know. Have you been to the aquarium in Atlanta?
No.
All right, so you park, and it's right next to the Coca-Cola History Museum or whatever. They give you this little ticket, and you pay. You pay at a kiosk, right?
Okay.
Wouldn't you know that we paid at the wrong kiosk
How did you pay the wrong kiosk? Like,
because they were set up. Because there's signs everywhere that say, "Pay here, pay here."
yeah. So just hoping people would randomly pay you money or
Well,
pay
no,
them money.
like so you go to the kiosk and we pay. Like we put the thing in, and it didn't pay, and like it kept spitting it out. And I'm like, okay, well maybe the machine's broke. Somebody walks right up to it. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so then there's an option because you have to have a paid ticket to get out of the garage. Like, you
Okay.
can't get out. You can't get out. So we paid. And I was like, a lost receipt. Paid $50 fucking for parking.
It's absurd.
Guess what? It's the wrong fucking one. So guess who had to pay an additional $50 at the actual parking garage?
Nah, I'd be upset. I'd be very
I
mad.
was not happy. I
Yeah.
paid $100
Like
for fucking parking.
it's that feels like it's something that happens all the time, and I feel like they should have a system set up in which it doesn't happen anymore. But
I feel like I don't know, and they were the same machines, dude. They were the same fucking machines because and we took the thing and put in the ticket of the second terminal, went in first try and paid.
I
So
don't.
I was clearly in the wrong. I went to the wrong one and paid it
But I understand. Like even if
because
you
what I didn't
lost
want
your
to do
receipt, like how were you able
because
to
then
pay?
you say lost receipt, you put your card in and it prints you out like a general whatever thing, and then you would then give that to the person that's at the end of the garage, and then they would let you out, showing that hey, I paid for this. There's a fail proof system to get you out of there. You still have to pay, but you just show that you have a paid receipt saying I lost my ticket, whatever. But you have a paid receipt showing that you paid for parking. Okay.
It still feels like you should show up with a paid receipt. Like you clearly paid $50 to park here. So I feel like somebody should have been like, man, this happens all the time. Get on out of here. You paid your
Do you
money.
think they give a fuck?
Man, no.
Anyways, and it's like a billion fucking degrees in Atlanta, by the way. It's so fucking hot, and it's like every time we drove on the fucking interstate, it was just like bumper to bumper fucking traffic, and it was just you live with that for like a day and you're like whatever, and just by the second or third day, you're like I can't do this anymore.
How do
I
people
don't,
live in those cities?
dude. They
I
don't
don't.
drive. They take public transportation.
Then who are those people there? Like it's like we're living in a simulation, dude. It's like
Dude,
who are all these people?
Atlanta's fucking big, bro.
Oh,
Atlanta's fucking big. Anyways, the whole point of it was that, taking Zoe to Parkway because selfishly, I wanted to take her to experience that because, like, it's our job as parents to give our kids uh, experiences that we may not have gotten as kids ourselves. I didn't go to my first I went to my first concert, which was like Weird Al, right?
yeah.
And then my second concert was like Van Halen, but I didn't go to my first metal show on my own until I was a senior in high school. Now I've been to many, 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 many shows since then, and like concerts, while I do go with people, have always been a very singular experience for me because I don't necessarily need somebody to go, and I don't necessarily wait on anyone to go. Like I ask somebody if they want to go. If they say yes, they say no. I'm going regardless, right?
Yeah.
I'm just asking if you want to tag along, not you. Just in general, like, hey, do you want to go? And if someone's like, I don't know, okay, I'm going. So whatever. So concert going has always been a very singular, isolated, like hobby of mine. This is what I do. I go and enjoy the music. So, I didn't go to my first concert with my dad until, God, I think it was 25. And I took him to a Parkway show.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like I don't know. It's just weird. It's like because something that is so near and dear to me and something that was very formative to me as an individual. It's like sort of opening a part of my soul to people. You know what I mean? So like I'm like this, like like hey, I hope that you obviously probably won't experience it the way that I do, but like hopefully you can gather more information or whatever it may be about me by seeing this because like it's just like energy personified. Right?
This is who you are. This is where you came from. This is like this is a lot of you right here. And
Yeah, it's very personable and the opportunity, like I asked Zoe, I was just like, this was a couple months ago. I was like, you want to go? And she was just like, yeah, because my child very much is all about doing things. She doesn't really give a shit what
man,
it is.
that's
She's
crazy. Yeah.
Your kids are not that way.
Nah, my kids have their own way, like their own quirks and uniqueness, and so
Yeah, I wonder where they get it from. We say it all the time. Two extroverted parents with or two introverted parents with an extroverted child. She's, dude, bro. We were at the aquarium, and there was like because they have like they have big ass whale, and big ass shark. Like they have like a shark whale or whatever it's called.
oh, whale shark.
Yeah, they have one of those there.
Yeah. Damn, that's a
And
big animal. That's a big creature. Yeah.
And like there's like a whole like section of like how they got it over
I'm about to go there
over
next.
here.
That sounds fun.
It's a great aquarium. But anyways, so like there's a guy doing all these things, and he's just like, does anyone have any questions? My daughter's the first person to raise their fucking hand.
That's good though.
And then like he immediately walks over and asks her a question, and so she asks a question in a room of 200 people.
Yeah, she's an ex-president. I get it. You know, she's an ex-president of the United States.
So let me just tell you about my experience at this show. All right.
Okay. Break it down for me.
This was a festival. Okay.
Okay.
Something that I had kind of sworn I would never do because
Like Coachella,
first and foremost,
like a warp.
I'll never do
tour.
those. I'll never do those.
Okay.
Because none of those appeal to me. You know, Bonnaroo is, you know, a couple hours from here, and it got full on like flooded and shit. But like, I'm not into dirty, hippie, public bathrooms, non-bathing people for multiple days. I get enough of the non-bathing at like comic conventions and what?
Oh, I was looking at America's biggest aquarium. It turns out it's Atlanta. So that's crazy. I didn't know. You didn't even lead with that. I feel like that's something you should have led with. Like, oh yeah, I went to the world's largest aquarium, or America's largest aquarium.
But you're gonna fact check me anyways. You're gonna be like, well, is it really?
I mean, I wouldn't fact check you. I just said no. I didn't know. You could tell me honestly anywhere. I didn't know what it was.
More importantly, I don't like festivals because they're outside.
Yeah.
They're almost always in the fucking summertime. Now, the show that we went to in Tampa, that was perfect. The weather was perfect. It's also Florida weather, right? But this was, I think it was 90.
And we went in October, so.
Right. But this was 95 degrees with a heat index of like 107 in the shade. Okay. So there's 8 bands. And luckily, it was somewhat organized in the sense that like the 4 headliners rotated every show. So like if Parkway headlined in like the night before, they would be the first opener, so they would play 5. They would be the 5th band to play, right? Because the first 4 opening bands always played the same, and then the 4 headliners, because it was a 4 headlining festival, whatever. Anyway, so it was just right. So luckily, Parkway was the first headliner on, so that's like awesome. Anyways, when I tell you that this was nothing short of a disaster to get into this fucking place.
Nice. You gotta love it when they make it easy.
If you have estimated 10,000 people going to a place that's outdoors and the show starts at 3, what time would you open the gates?
So it starts at 3?
Yes.
I'd open the gates probably like at 12. You know, give people.
You would think, right?
Give people plenty of time to get in there.
How many gates
down,
would you have?
Walk around, buy merch. I mean, it's a festival.
So you, this is to get in. Imagine it's like it's an amphitheater, but imagine a fairgrounds or a park.
I mean, like, I guess you do want to limit the amount of entrances you have because you don't want to you want to pat down everybody, right? You want to get a hold of everybody's junk, make sure nobody's bringing.
No, I'm talking about simply for fucking entrance to like with your car into parking lots, not getting inside.
Multiple.
What if I told you that the gates didn't open till 2, and there was one fucking entrance?
That would sound like a disaster, honestly.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
So and make it really difficult to get there by 3.
So imagine my surprise when I'm following their directions and the address that was sent to me by the festival like the day before. Here's here's what you need to know, and then you go and you follow the signage that tells you to go here, and you get to that fucking entrance. And that entrance is closed, and then you can't find anybody, and then you finally find somebody, and he's fuming, pissed, and mad as shit. And he's just like, you gotta go here. You gotta go by the football stadium. It's like, brother, I'm not from around here, whatever. So
yeah, not only that, like, sir, I'll hand you the instructions they sent to me.
He already knew it.
Show me where that is on the instructions, sir.
He's like, just drive around. If you go here, you go right, and then you just go. When you see the football stadium, you go. Okay.
I'm assuming that it was not his. You were not his first customer for the day, so
correct.
Gotcha.
And then the person behind me did a Yui. And was like asking, and he was just like, follow him. And so then I've got a whole line of people.
A lot of pressure on your shoulder right now.
I got all these people following me, and I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
Dude, you could have done the funniest thing.
And just drove around.
Just drove around the city for fucking 5 minutes before somebody catched on.
Well, this is on the mind you, this is on the other end of Atlanta too. This is on the bottom side of Atlanta, so I had to fight all that traffic to get there to begin with.
Oh,
So we arrive in time. We get there at the gate at like 2:05, and you would think, okay, we got plenty of time. We got an hour, 55 minutes to park, to go through security, to do all that. Was not the case. Because it was a fucking disaster to get into this place. And there's like 3 entrances. It's hot as fuck. Even when you get into the entrance, they have one person there that's like, did you have general parking or did you have preferred parking?
I don't fucking know.
Well, we paid for preferred parking because we didn't know what the fucking parking situation is. And I
Yeah.
fucking hate with a passion. Top 5 worst things I hate doing is looking for a fucking parking spot.
That's fair.
Like dude, I hate it because it's just like nothing is ever convenient. Anyways, finally, after all that, we get in there, and then the guy followed me. He's like, and he told me this whole story. Like he told him to follow him, and I'm like, dude, I didn't know where I was going. I was like, I just kind of winged it, but I knew when we got. By the way, we got to the gate, and there was cars. Okay, the cars coming from both ends. Right, I got to make a right. There's a whole line of fucking cars. I can't even see the end of it. They're turning left, and you've got 2 lines of traffic going into one fucking lane. And you can imagine the bottleneck that happens, right?
Yeah.
So then you try to do the zipper method. You try to do the zipper
method.
method.
Yeah, very effective.
So, you know.
But then it only takes one fucking idiot to ruin the zipper method, just like an actual zipper, where it's like you got one fucking piece of the zipper that fucks everything up. So
anyways, we do all that. We finally get there. We get in, do all that. You were allowed to bring your own water bottle, but it had to be an unopened bottle of water.
how do they check all those? You know,
They look.
I mean,
They look.
They can look.
You could bring like a clear Nalgene bottle, but you couldn't bring like like an Awala or anything. It had to be clear, so you're not sneaking in stuff. And it's like, who gives a shit? So then we get in there and we finally we grab some some drinks, like some icy drinks, basically like non-alcoholic like ice drinks, because it was a fucking sweltering heat. Anyways, we get to our thing. First band's already playing. They're halfway through their set. It's fine. I didn't give a shit. It's a band called TX2. I didn't care.
Shut up.
Not a lot of people there at this point. People were again fighting traffic, trying to get in there. We get about 2 bands in, and I'm starting to notice that there's no there was an amphitheater and then there was lawn seats. There's like nobody on the lawn, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Whatever. Maybe people are just waiting because it's too hot. And then I see a bunch of people all over the place, like arguing with other people because people are in people's seats that they didn't pay for. Okay.
Wait.
So
Is there paid?
okay.
Like, do you have to buy a seat? Like, or is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was you had the pit, and then you had the amphitheater seats, and then you had lawn seats.
Gotcha.
So we were in the shade, but we had seats. But then you see there was this one specific couple. There was 2 of them. They clearly paid for lawn seats, and they were just jumping in seats. So they were sitting here. These people show up, they leave, they go over here. These people show up, they leave. I mean, they're bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, so they're trying to steal seats, basically. Like,
well,
get a closer view.
Yes, but come to find out that apparently the day of, they canceled all lawn seats.
Oh.
For safety concerns because it was too fucking hot.
So then what do they do?
They just told people to sit wherever.
You know, I love it when a plan runs smoothly, dude. Like, I love that organizers know what they're doing, and it's like, dude, it sounds like they handled this very well.
And it was just like, okay, and but there was so many arguments because people are drunk, people are hot, and people are refusing to get out of other people's seats that they didn't pay for because they were told by other people, the people that run this fucking thing.
It almost feels like they should have just said, all right, guys, we're scrapping the seating plan because we can't have people dying in the heat. So everybody gets to sit in the shade today. And
but they were still doing the scummy thing where they were selling they were still selling VIP stuff. They were still selling pit passes. And it was just like, you've already told people that they their lawn seats. You're just telling people to sit wherever.
Yeah, it's almost the fucking idiot.
And it was probably only 60% capacity anyway. It was a pretty light crowd. All things, it was probably 9,000 people there.
It feels like the same people who did Dino Quest also did this festival.
And it was just like, all right, whatever. And then Zoe was a trooper. She was very, very good. I mean, we sat there for 3 hours waiting for Parkway, and she was starting to wane. She's starting to wane, and it was like after every band, there was like a good stage setup. So like after everyone, she's like, "Can we go get something to eat? Can we get something to drink? Can we go get something to eat? I don't want to sit here anymore." She's very, all things considered, she was very good.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, "Is like there'd be a band playing and they play one song." She was like, "Are they done yet?"
Like, can
I'm like,
they go, please? Or
just like they just started. I will say that they did post the set times of like when all these bands would play, and they stuck to that schedule very well.
okay,
But
that's
I
one
think
point
that
for
was
them.
more. I think that's more the bands doing than anybody else. Um, all that to say is like Parkway comes on. It was honestly the most active because the crowd was kind of dead, to be honest. Like it was
I
anytime
mean,
you
it's 95 degrees outside with
yeah, but
107
anytime
in the
there's a show with seats, it's like metal shows with seats are weird to me. It was the
yeah,
fucking first shows we went to. You went to with me and Phil.
yeah. I enjoyed it.
Gojira.
So you can
But
sit down if your knees got tired.
yeah, but that's like the anti-metal. Like it's not so you're not supposed to sit. You're supposed there's no energy when you're sitting down. I mean,
Yeah,
fit,
that's me. My energy. That's my
yeah,
energy
you
right
look
there.
like a fucking weirdo.
Let's
But
go.
comparing that Gojira show, as good as it was, to the energy of the Fit for an Autopsy show that you saw in Tampa.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Anyways,
I think a
so
lot of it made it really good was all the weed being smoked around us. But
that happens everywhere. But anyways, so there's like everyone's sort of just standing still, and then like Parkway comes on, and then like the actual amphitheater starts to move. You start to feel the energy. People are starting to feel lively and get into it and all this stuff. And Zoe's really into it. She's like, "I know this song. Oh my god!" And then like I had taken a picture and I tagged the festival, Summer of Loud, on Instagram, and they had like reposted to their story, and then like people knew my daughter. They're like, "I saw you on Instagram," and it's
weird, but
like
okay.
the
Yeah.
people in front of us was like, "Hey, I know this girl," and like he turned around and showed her. And she was like, "Oh my god, I'm famous," and so I was like, "Oh great."
Oh god.
But then like the people in front of us told Zoe, they're like, they were talking to her, was like, "Is this your first show?" And she's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Well, you have really cool parents that would take you to this kind of concert
And
for your
I'm
first."
sure your egos weren't inflated at all.
I'm
So
just, and we were just both like, "Yeah, remember what they say," because we have that, and again, it's that whole gratitude thing where like Zoe doesn't know, like this, she thinks everyone's life is like hers.
yeah.
She doesn't realize how incredibly lucky and special that she is. And so, like, how do you teach this sort of gratitude? Anyways, we we saw Parkway. Christina loved it. I loved it. Zoe loved it. It was a tamed version of Parkway because they don't play 9 songs because they only have like a 40-minute set, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not like the full Parkway experience where they play an hour and a half and just like anyways, but it was like a taste. It's like it's like a sampler platter. All these bands are just playing like samplers, like 5, 6, 7 songs, whatever. And it was whatever. And we were just like, "You want to go home?"
Hell yeah. That's me right
there's,
there. Hell
but
yeah, dude.
well, it was like, "Do you want to go back to the hotel?" And then on the way back to the hotel, it was because like the whole point was Parkway. I mean, no shade to anybody else that was there, but it's like my daughter's not gonna sit through 3 more bands. She's not
No,
gonna do it.
especially the ones she has no investment in
And Christina
whatsoever.
was not going to either. I was like, whatever. If Killswitch was next, I've seen Killswitch before, so it's fine. That was the only other band that I really would have given a shit. So I skipped I Prevail and Beartooth. I don't care. I had seen every band that was on the bill except for that first band, TX2 or whatever it was, which I missed half their set anyways. And I was like, well, let's just drive back. Let's go and let's like freshen up. And we had already kind of like laid the seeds, Christine and I. Was like, we had sort of kind of packed before we left anyway. Because like, what are you gonna do till 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Whatever. And I was like, let's just.
I know
fucking
how
go.
it starts. Don't worry. I know. You pack
so-
everything up, like just in case. But also like we're ready to go tomorrow. If we feel like waking up in the morning and getting out of here, we can because we're already packed. And then it's like, well, we're already packed.
Not that we had to convince Zoe, because not that she really got to say so at the end of the day, but it was just like we had to sell it to her, and it's just like, God Almighty. It's like, listen, we can just like drive through the night. We'll stop at Bucky's on the way home, whatever.
Maybe
and
like
just
a late
think,
night Waffle House run, dude.
just think, you get to sleep in your own bed, and you don't have to get up early and drive. But like honestly, the fucking all of it was because I did not want to fight that goddamn traffic at 7 in the fucking morning
Yeah.
on a Wednesday in Atlanta based on what I had dealt with for 2 fucking days.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it.
So let's do it.
I was like,
8 p.m.
I'll drive. I'll drive. I'll fucking, and dude, and I got home so fast. I
Yeah.
got home so fast.
I would say so. Yeah.
It's crazy what happens when there's no stops.
Yeah, man. Oh, I
got
love
to
night
Atlanta.
driving too, dude. I love it.
I got
love,
home in less than 3 hours almost.
I love early morning driving and nighttime driving. Super nice.
Early morning is really hard for me because I'm still like my eyes are heavy. My eyes don't get heavy at night.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it. I got you, bro. Let me
But
drive.
anyways, it's one of those experiences in life where I think in 15 years, Zoe will appreciate it. She will cherish the memory more than like, because her is just like, oh, she went to a concert at school, whatever. Like she's sort of over it now, right? But like to me, it's very special to me. It's very sentimental to me. Means a lot to me. Because like no matter what, like her concert it will always be with me. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's
Her first
you know,
concert, dude.
right. And seeing my band that like, or not say my band, my favorite band, whatever. And I think I know she genuinely enjoyed herself, but
Hell
like
yeah.
the gravity of the situation, maybe it's not, maybe it's just like I'm making the situation bigger than it actually is to me personally, because it is a big deal to me.
Yeah,
But I think that like she will appreciate it when she gets older.
absolutely.
And I don't,
And she's
not
famous now, so.
well, and you got to understand, my daughter is a Taylor Swift kid.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, like she loves Taylor Swift.
she loves the same shit that Christina listens to. So,
Yeah. That's nothing wrong with Taylor Swift, though.
but Christina's just like, I can't. She's like, when they come back, we're going again. That's
Oh,
how
Parkway Drive or Taylor Swift? Which one?
Parkway. That's how good Parkway is. That Christina's like, I'm always going to be going with you now.
Hell yeah.
That's how fucking good they are.
Dude, imagine a Taylor Swift Parkway Drive mashup, dude.
I wouldn't know.
I'm just saying, hey,
So.
their agents need to reach out. I'll take just like a 5% credit for that. Okay, so
Why? That sounds like a terrible idea.
just give me 5% of the credit. You don't even have to pay me for coming up with that idea. Just say,
It's
hey,
a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea.
no, it's not. It's the perfect combination.
It's an awful idea.
It's like Us, right? You've got early bird gets the worm, night owl, right? You mash
people
them
already
together.
hate Taylor Swift because she's infected football and by proxy. She was at the fucking Stanley Cup.
That's how she makes her
Game 4.
That's how it makes her comeback right here, right? You join up with oh fuck, why not blank so hard? Parkway Drive. I was gonna say System of a Down for some reason. Fucking, anyways, Parkway Drive, Taylor Swift mashup. I'd say that'd be dope.
No, it wouldn't.
They
I'm
could
telling you it
collab
wouldn't.
on a song or two, dude. Are you kidding me? It'd be like Linkin Park when they teamed up with